How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its Ready, Set, Play sale, and I am here to take a look at the deals under the price of $10. Quite a lot of retreads in this video, mentioning a lot of the games that some of you guys might already own, so, don't take me to the gallows for it. I'm just recommending the deals I think are quite good, and there are people out there that don't own it. Alright, with that being said, let's get right into it, and let's kick things off with the Batman Arkham Collection. Baby, Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. A great trilogy of games, and it seems like we're gonna get a little bit of a continuation of the Arkham games with Lego Batman The Dark Knight, the Legacy of the Dark Knight, I believe it's called. Sometimes I forget the name because it's kind of lengthy, but nonetheless, that game is taking some Arkham elements, it looks like, and the Arkham games are absolutely phenomenal. I remember when Arkham Asylum was coming out back in 2009, I was super young at that point, and I think I was reading like a Game Informer magazine, and I was like, man, they put Batman Arkham on the cover of this. There's no way a Batman game's gonna end up being good, because if you remember in that era, superhero games were like super mid or just terrible, and Batman Arkham was one of the games that to me really did change the perception of them. I know we had like Spider-Man Web of Shadows, X-Men Origins Wolverine, and games of that ilk, but Batman Arkham Asylum was at another level in terms of its excellence, and Arkham City built upon that. Arkham Knight had its issues, but I still thought was a really, really good game, and to get all three for $5.99, obviously, it's an outstanding deal and easy to recommend. Next up, we do have Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, 75% off for $9.99. Now, to be fair, this has been considerably cheaper. I believe this has been down to like $3.99, but for a while, it got its price jacked up, and it really hasn't gotten back down, so I thought, you know what, let's just recommend Jedi Fallen Order. It's still very much worth a $9.99 price point, given how good this game is. Does it have its issues? Primarily, yes, the atrocious map layout, I think, is just an abomination. They really do fix that up in Jedi Survivor, but yes, outside of that, the game is great. The main character in Cal, I really like him as a main character. I thought the platforming was well done. I thought the combat was good. The story was good. Some of the puzzles I wasn't crazy about, but generally that's just me not liking puzzles in my action games. You know what I mean? But $9.99 for Jedi Fallen Order. Definitely think that's a pretty solid deal. And after you play that, play Jedi Survivor as well. And hopefully that third game will end up being pretty good. God of War III Remastered, 50% off for $9.99. Now, God of War really won me over more so with God of War 2018. I played all of the God of War games prior to that. God of War 1, 2, 3, Chains of Olympus, Ghosts of Sparta. I played all of them, and I enjoyed them, but I really just thought they were good action games. I never was enthralled with the franchise like a lot of other people, and let me just say that. Most people love the original God of War trilogy, the PSP games, and I like them. I just didn't love them like I did 2018 and Ragnarok. God of War 3 is still definitely a good time and worthwhile to play through. It would be nice if Sony could port the existing games, God of War 1, 2, Chains of Olympus, and Ghosts of Sparta, so they're not stuck on PS3 purgatory, but it is what it is. We can't have nice things, and Sony's just gotta make fair game and spend all their money on live service games. I kid. But $9.99 for God of War 3, definitely a good deal on that. Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remastered, 60% off for $9.99. Final Fantasy X is one of the first PS2 games. I want to say it came out in, 2001, so bear in mind, it's gonna be a little bit dated. The voice acting isn't amazing. There's some stiff animations, but the game itself is still fantastic. Narratively, it's great. The characters are really likable. I'm a sucker for Auron. I think Auron is awesome. The soundtrack is great. The battle theme to Final Fantasy X, Chef's Kiss, absolutely iconic. The Sphere Grid, I thought, was solid, and FF10 is just a great game. Let me say this, I don't think 10-2 is that bad. I know that 10-2 kind of gets absolutely crapped on, and even if you disregard 10-2, Final Fantasy X for $9.99 is easily worth it. But 10-2 I don't think is that bad. I think it's a pretty decent game. You do have Yuna at the helm of the story, and it's not as The tone from Final Fantasy X, it's definitely shifted in 10-2, but I don't think it's inherently a bad game, and I still think there's some fun to be had with it. So, both titles for $9.99, I think that's pretty damn good. Next up, we got Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition, $5.99 on this. You know, I feel like Mass Effect Legendary Edition has set, like, an unattainable standard of collections that are just absolutely insane. Like, Gears of War Reloaded came out, and somebody brought up to me, you know, Gears of War Reloaded is $40, and Mass Effect Legendary Edition was $60, and you get all 3 Mass Effect games. That's a good point. It really made me think, but then I realized not every collection can be held to the same standard of one of the greatest video game trilogies of all time. And maybe, you know, that's me going to bat for Gears Reloaded a little bit too much, but nonetheless, circling back to Mass Effect, I just think this trilogy is absolutely incredible. Even if Mass Effect 1 shows its age a little bit, it's still a great game. Mass Effect 2 is outstanding, and Mass Effect 3 is really good, outside of, you know, the lackluster ending, but Mass Effect 2 in particular, one of the greatest video games of all time. Really, throw in Mass Effect 2 in that, you know, I talk about the pantheon of the greatest games of all time, Witcher 3, Metal Gear Solid 3, Final Fantasy 7, throw Mass Effect 2 in there, like, you know, that's in the absolute upper echelon of video games of all time, and to get all 3 of the games for $5.99, it's an outstanding deal. Definitely recommend that. Next up, Kingdom Come Deliverance Royal Edition is 80% off for $7.99. Really good deal for KCD. The only thing is Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 does show its age. It doesn't have a PS5 upgrade, which is a bummer. I feel like they should just get a PS5 upgrade, at least, you know, 60 FPS. I think that would do a lot. You know, KCD is a narrative-driven game, so I know that a lot of people want to jump into KCD 2, and you can still have fun with that game without playing KCD 1, but narratively, KCD 1 is a really, really strong game. It's definitely not for everyone. The combat is gonna be a little bit of a divisive element to it. Not everybody's gonna like it, but from a historical standpoint, I really did appreciate the setting and those elements of the game. For $7.99, given you get the DLC, I think it's a pretty good pickup, so I would give that a shout. Next up, we got BioShock the Collection, 80% off for $9.99. Let's see if we can get BioShock 4 out on the market. I don't know, but you know, that game's going through some turmoil. BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite in this collection, I think, is a great pickup for $9.99. BioShock 1 is the game that most people seem to really love. I personally loved BioShock Infinite, and remember, BioShock Infinite had its tumultuous development cycle as well, but I thought Infinite turned out to be an absolutely wonderful game. I thought the setting shift was great. I thought the gameplay was just so satisfying. And BioShock 2 as well, not as good as 1 and Infinite, but still a decent game, all things considered. And to get all 3 for $9.99, I think that's a really good pickup. Definitely would recommend that. Next up, we got the Metro Saga bundle. You get Metro 2033, Metro Last Light, and Metro Exodus, the Gold Edition. This is an outstanding pickup for all of the content that you're getting and all of the games that you're getting. Essentially, you're paying $3 a pop, which $3 for the Exodus Gold Edition is just nuts. And 2033 and Last Light are great as well. Last Light, in particular, is my favorite. And these games are just really well-done, atmospheric first-person shooters. The tension, the tone of the games, the narratives, they're very strong in that regard. And 2033 and Last Light aren't super lengthy games. They're games that you can go in, complete them over the course of a weekend, and then move on. And sometimes that's exactly what you need amidst all the big open world games. And for $8.99 for the trilogy, I think that's a pretty damn good deal. Speaking of big open world games, Assassin's Creed Origins, the Deluxe Edition, is down to just $7, $6.99. As much as I'm down on the newer style of Assassin's Creed games, $6.99 for AC Origins is absolutely ridiculous for all the content that you're getting, and it's 60 frames per second on PlayStation 5, which is fantastic. And, you know, it seems like Bayek is one of the characters that a lot of people do seem to like. I'm not crazy about, but honestly, I'm not crazy about any of the Assassin's Creed characters post Syndicate. I think they're all pretty mediocre, Ivor just being a special level of trash, but nonetheless, I do like Basim from Mirage, but nevertheless, people do like Bayek, and people seem to like Origins across the board, so $6.99, you know, if you're looking for an open world with a lot of content, you're definitely going to get that here, so you can check that out. Next up, you got Yakuza Like a Dragon, 50% off for $9.99. Speaking of a lot of content, Yakuza Like a Dragon will absolutely give you a lot of content. I loved Yakuza Like a Dragon. I think this game is awesome. I think you can jump right into it without playing any of the other RGG games. And yes, would it benefit you if you played some of the Kiryu games? Sure. But the game centers a new protagonist, a new cast of characters. The story is really good, even in a vacuum. And yeah, I love the game. I think Ichiban is a great character, and I'm excited to see where they go with his story next. I didn't think Infinite Wealth was as strong narratively as Like a Dragon, but, you know, you can't all have all be 10 out of 10 stories, and Like a Dragon was a legit 10 out of 10 from a narrative standpoint. The gameplay is really good, a lot of content, like I said, and $9.99 is a great pickup on that, so definitely pick that up. Next up, another narrative-driven game, Nobody Wants to Die, is 60% off for $9.99. Lose yourself in the world of New York 2329, where immortality comes at a price that someone has to pay. Following a near-death experience, Detective James Carr takes an off-the-books case from his chief with only the help of a young police liaison, Sarah Kai, to assist him. Time reveals all as they risk everything in pursuit of a killer, uncovering the dark secrets of the city's elite. Bear in mind that this is a fairly short game, but if you're looking for a detective narrative-driven title, you'll definitely find that here. Some good visuals as well. $9.99, a good price for a shorter game like this. Speaking of shorter games, one game that was very much criticized for its length is The Order 1886, and it is 50% off for $9.99. Man, I love The Order from a thematic and a setting standpoint. Obviously, this game was an absolute technical juggernaut when it came out back in 2015. Really was one of the console showcases from a visual standpoint, the PS4 that is. And, you know, you're paying $10 for it, $9.99, and you're getting a, 5 to 6 hour campaign that I think it's worthwhile to go through. Man, I really feel like there was an incredible world here that if they decided to do a sequel, it'll never happen. Like, there's no reason to. It would be business malpractice at this point to go back and do Order 1887 or whatever they would call it. But, yeah, the world was just incredibly compelling. I think for $9.99, it's a good pickup, and just play through it over the course of a weekend. And it's one of those games that I feel like over the past couple of years, people have gone out and checked it out, and they're like, wow, this world is incredible. Very basic from a cover-based third-person shooter gameplay standpoint, but well done. For sure, from a fundamental level. Next up, we have Bayonetta and Vanquish 10th Anniversary Bundle, 75% off for $9.99. You know, Order 1886 is very basic from a gameplay standpoint. Bayonetta and Vanquish are anything but that. They're platinum games at their over-the-top best. Vanquish especially takes platinum and turns it up to an 11. It's such a fantastic game. Very much on the shorter side, as is Bayonetta. Unfortunately, we won't get Bayonetta 2 and 3 on PlayStation, given that Nintendo published those games. I mean, crazier things have happened, but I don't think that'll be happening, but these games are great, and for $9.99 to get both of them, definitely a solid shout there. Next up, we have Mega Man Zero ZX Legacy Collection, 67% off for $9.89. A collection with 6 games in it. Mega Man Zero 1 through 4, and then ZX and ZX Advent. 0, 1 through 4 were Game Boy Advance games that are very much on the shorter side. ZX and ZX Advent were both Nintendo DS games, so they do have the janky, wonky screen setup, but I really enjoyed the game. Zero very much on the challenging side of things, but ZX and ZX Advent, man, they were apparently working on a third game in the ZX series, and those were really cool games. They're more Metroidvania-esque, and they were really well done on the DS, but nonetheless, you get all those games for $9.89, a good buy there. And then lastly, Just Cause 3 XXL Edition is $5.09. Absolute mayhem, open world chaos. Nothing to get invested into from a narrative standpoint, but sometimes you just want something that is absolutely crazy, and Just Cause 3 is exactly that. It's absolutely crazy, it's absolute insanity, and very much worth your money at $5.09. You get the DLC as well. Great pickup there, but that is going to do it for me. Again, a ton of deals on the PlayStation Store under the price of $10. Some great stuff to check out. Links to everything in the description box below. As always, sound off with your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.